Today, we're gonna get casual. Got some casual pants on, I'm taking off my shoes. And we're going to get out the foam roller. My good friend and yours. So, I have a nice long one, hopefully you do too. If not, you could get blocks or a pillow or something behind you to support your head. Because the first thing we're gonna do, even though I know a lot of people when they use foam rollers, they like to do the legs and the hips and all that, and we will get to that. But I think the most forgotten or the most unattended area with the foam roller is the spine and back. So, I'm going to lay this right here. I'm going to sit on the end and lay across it. So my head, let's scoot down, because my head is going to be supported by the foam roller, maybe right at the bottom of my head, or like where my neck and head connect. I'm going to let my legs hang out. I'm going to let my arms hang out. And for a moment, we're just going to breathe. Try and let everything relax. Kind of feel the foam roller along your spine. Now I'm rolling a little bit. Just kind of get a feeling for where the foam roller meets the bottom of your head, but you don't want your head to hang off the back. So if it is, scoot down a little bit. Now you can even nod your head side to side, like you're saying no. And now maybe I do want to scoot a little bit, so I can get just the base of my head. A lot of people carry tension there. So if you find yourself like getting a little too wobbly when you move your head side to side, then plant your feet. Okay, you can close your eyes, let your shoulders, let your whole body kind of mold, almost like melted butter over the foam roller. And then just move your head side to side. Okay. See if you can gradually work through the mobility in your head, just gently moving it side to side, holding, and then over to the other side. So take your time, breathe in, and if you find any areas that are a little tender there, maybe stop for a moment, just breathe, hold it, release it and go to the other side. See if it has the same area on the other side. Most people will find that they have a different, or a very different mobility on one side than the other. Okay. And whichever side has that more like hypermobility or more mobility, make sure that you spend a little extra time on the other side. Okay. And just breathe. Then when you're ready, just kind of let your head hang on the top of there. There's a, if you put your hand underneath, there's some room for your neck. Room from your chin to your chest. So if I made a fist, and I put that underneath my chin, I've got room there. And I'm just going to kind of side by side roll myself. Again, if you feel yourself slipping off, maybe bend the knees. Start to maybe squeeze your shoulder blades toward the foam roller. So hopefully you feel this even down into your sacrum, lower back. No, maybe I'm just short. So on either side of your spine, on either side of your sacrum, Just gonna roll till you find some areas. So the whole thing, if you ever read the description of a foam, or the directions of a foam roller, they're actually quite funny. It says roll it over the parts of your body, and then stop on areas that are uncomfortable or have like a, what do you call it? Like a knot, and then keep rolling it till it's gone. I read that and I laughed because I'm like, oh my goodness, I would literally be here for days. Like sometimes you just get knots that just never ever want to go away. So if they're that like stubborn, then you have to do this a little more often. Alright, now if you find a spot on either side, you're going to kind of stay there and kind of like the directions say, just roll over that area. Either side of your spine. I have one on this side and not on the other. Okay. And then you're going to either plant your feet or let your legs hang out, and we're going to take our palms up. Open it like airplane wings or like bird's wings, and come all the way up overhead. Okay? And start to bring it down. So a little bit like a snow angel. All the way overhead. And all the way down. Now maybe you can still keep the arms on the floor. Or you have to lift them. It kind of depends on where your mobility is through your shoulders. Okay. So just play around with the area around you. All the way up, all the way down. Go at your own pace. Imagine yourself making snow angels. Okay. We're going to do 2 or 3 more of these. At your own pace. Open. Big stretch. Take it all the way down. Good. And on your last one, you're going to hold your arms all the way over your head. So if they're down by your sides, bring them up overhead. Reach your arms overhead so that you're one big long person. And then plant your feet so you don't fall. Your palms are facing up, your arms are reached over your head. Maybe they're on the ground, maybe they're kind of dangling there because there's not that much mobility. And now you're going to sweep them down to your sides. Like a big arc. So straight arm. Now palms are facing down on the floor next to your thighs. We're going to go all the way up overhead again. So for a soccer game or a football game, we're just doing the wave all the way up and all the way down. Breathe in. So you raise those arms up overhead. Exhale as you come down. Just go at your own pace. Raise them up, raise them down. One more with both arms. And then once you bring them down to your sides, palms down, start with just the right arm. Up over your head. And now the left arm. Then the right arm comes back down. And then the left arm. And we're going to alternate. Right arm, left arm. Right arm down, left arm down. Right arm up, left arm up. Right arm down, left arm down. Last one, we're just going to alternate the arms. Right arm up, left arm up, right arm down, left arm down. This time right arm goes up, left arm stays down. And then you're going to switch. Left arm goes up, right arm comes down. Okay, opposite arms. One goes up, the other one is down. So one goes up, the other is down. And 2, and 1. Both arms to your side. Sweep them out to the side. and pull them down. Sweep them out like airplane wings and pull them down. Now, out like airplane wings and pull them down. Good. 2 more. And 1. Hold them all the way out like airplane wings. Bring them to the center over your head, like straight up toward the ceiling, and then lower down to the floor. Bring up toward the ceiling, match the hands together, and lower down to the floor. So all the while the head is straight, the back is straight, the spine is on the foam roller, the arms are just moving. A lot of these moves, especially when we do them with weights, so for example, like this is kind of like a chest fly, a little bit like the arms are doing the same type of movement. Okay. Just practicing good form with our movements. The foam roller is supporting our spine, so it really can't like get all messed up. Hunched shoulders, awkward form is not going to hinder us here. So we're just going through some movements without weight that mirror what we would do with weight. Last one, hold the arms up overhead. Bend at the elbows, bring the elbows down to your side and squeeze your shoulder blades around the foam roller. And then push up and bring them back down. So yes, it is like a chest press. No weights, arms reach, squeeze foam roller. Shoulder blades around the foam roller, reach the arms up. And last 3, and 2, and 1. Arms to the side. So I was bending my knees a little bit. I was starting to kind of press on my sacrum. And some of that's maybe probably poor posture or like a little bit of lordosis in my spine. So if it was kind of pressing on yours, if you feel like you have like a huge gap between your spine and the foam roller, we're going to do some little tucks without even lifting off the foam roller. So there's a gap between the spine and the foam roller, and then we're going to close the gap. And then release. So you're going to tuck your hip under, and then release. And tuck, and release. Okay? So first there's a natural curvature of your spine, and then we imprint the spine on the foam roller. Imprint and release. Here's 5 and release. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Now we're going to keep the hips slightly imprinted. So we're not firmly pressing our spine against the foam roller, just a slight closing of the gap. If I was to stick my fingers down there, I might get a little bit of finger room or barely. Okay. Now I'm going to hold that and try to bring my feet closer together. I will probably keep my hands to the side so I don't fall off the foam roller. As you get better at this, more stable, you might even take your arms off, although that would be really tough. So hands on the side of the floor, the feet hip distance apart from each other, a little bit of a tuck there, pull your belly button in towards your spine, imprint your spine on the foam roller. Now you're going to raise your right leg up and back down, left up and down. See if you can do this without the foam roller rolling side to side. So you're going to keep that spine and the foam roller in the center. So equal pressure on the right hand and on the left hand, no matter which leg is lifted. Okay? So a lot of stabilization there going on. Lift and lower. So the foam roller can be quite good at core stabilization as well. Lift and lower. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Legs together, knees together, feet together. And we're just going to let the knees go open wide. Shoulders down. Let everything melt along the foam roller. And then bring the knees up. Release, let everything melt. And bring it up. Let everything melt. And up. 2 more, each one. We're just going to go a little bit longer. Hold. Release. And up. Last one. Let the legs out like a butterfly. Let your arms, your chest open. Your arms come to the floor for a 10. Breathe in and breathe out. 8. 6. Hold everything in. 4. 2. And bring those knees in. All right. We're going to slowly come up off the foam roller. You're just going to lay down on the side. And turn this sideways now. So first it was around or along our spine. Now it is along, it's lengthwise or perpendicular to our body. Okay? You're going to kind of put it in your lower back. All right? And then gently come across it. If that's a little bit uncomfortable, slowly come up, readjust, and open. And you might need to keep adjusting or keep moving till you can get like a good spot. And release. See if you can find one that you can hold over and take some deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it all the way up. Now I'm going to take my right side and turn slightly. And kind of the spot like underneath your armpit to your rib cage, right? And oh, okay, I didn't realize that was gonna hurt. And now I'm gonna roll. And if it's really uncomfortable, I think I forgot I just did arm day yesterday with my daughter. So it's a little sore, I'm not gonna lie. How much pressure you put on with the foam roller is totally up to you. So if I go a little bit more on my elbow, but then I can't get the good stuff. All right, I guess I'm just gonna suffer. You're just gonna roll. And breathe. Breathing is key in foam rolling, especially if you find those unsavory areas. And roll, and if you find a good one, breathe. Hold it there for 5. 4 breaths. Keep breathing. Good. Now let's see if we have the same thing on the other side. Now you can, if you find areas, just stay there a little longer, feel free. That was so incredibly uncomfortable. Okay. And now you're just gonna kind of get between that armpit and your rib cage again and find some areas and roll it out. Yeah. Sometimes women like to be a bit like awkward. That's why they make smaller ones, larger ones. Find that one spot or two or three, hold and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. And you can kind of keep going down. So there are lots of areas kind of in the back that you can even kind of go in that lower, like kind of where the lower back meets the hip. So if you find your hip bone, and you feel right behind it, there's a muscle that helps connect your gluteus maximus, like it all connects through here. So here is actually a perfect time to kind of find that. There we go, find that spot, little roll. You don't want to roll on bone, so make sure you're on muscle. Okay. Now, as you start rolling, what I can also do is cross one leg over, like a number 4, and then start getting, yeah, right there in the glutes. Okay, again, anytime you find like a hot spot, a wow, hold and breathe. You kind of just roll it lightly. Hold it there. Now even this, I'll bring this down a little bit more so I can even kind of, oh, hello piriformis. Like right there in the center of your bottom. And roll it. Yeah, good stuff. Alright, so I've gotten a couple areas on this side. In a moment we'll move over to the other. 10 good passes through, and then hold and breathe on those hot spots. Make yourself do at least 3 deep breaths, and not like Lamaze, more like breathe in and exhale. And then I'm going to switch sides. So, come down. I'm going to start with that like lower back, just above the hip bone area. Basically, anywhere that you have muscle, you can use a foam roller. Sometimes, some areas are easier to get to than others, which is why, I don't know if you can see it in there, but I have this little ball. I'm going to show you how to use that in a little bit. You could use it in the piriformis area. It might be a little too rough. It depends. Okay, I'm falling off, so as I slide off, I'm going to cross one leg over. Oh yeah, right in the good spots. So again, I'm talking like doing it on here, but it's right behind that hip bone. Bikers, runners. So the TFL, tensor, fascia, latae, I think. I'm not very good with muscle names. For some reason I always mispronounce them. I should have taken Latin. Alright, I'm going to scoot down a little bit more. Get right there in the center of my rear end. Yeah, not as bad on this side as the other one. You'll find that too. It'd be wonderful if we were balanced creatures, but we're not. So a few pass-throughs to make it bearable. If it's truly unbearable being on this, you can do this against the wall as opposed to the floor. Like this, I'm literally putting all my body weight into it. So if this is akin to torture, like you'd rather have people stick little like matches under your fingernails and light them on fire, then do this against the wall as opposed to the floor, a little less impactful. All this, which leads us to here. So we kind of did that whole like gluteus medius, the TFL region, lower back. So I'm going to continue along those lines and go into the IT band and the quadriceps first. We'll also do hamstrings. It's a little harder to get this with the hamstrings. Your hamstrings are really like thin, three thin muscles in the back. We will get them a bit. I will also show you how to use this ball in some of those areas. So, and even if you don't have that particular ball, a tennis ball or lacrosse ball works just fine. So with the IT band, I'm going to show you on this leg, runs from the side of my knee here, it connects, and then it goes all the way along the side, and then it connects up here, it kind of fans out and connects like right up here behind my TFL and into my gluteus maximus and my gluteus muscles. So what happens is it should work independently. Like we're not literally stretching the IT band. What we're doing is breaking up any adhesions of that band to any of the muscle groups that are near it. So why most people feel some discomfort here is many times our quadriceps, especially after a good long run or a bike. When they heal, they'll adhere themselves or connect themselves with fascia to that IT band, and then it stops moving independently, and then those muscles get very irritated and angry. So I'm going to go the IT band route, but then I'm going to take it to the quad. And oh my. And remember your quadriceps also, there's several like areas of them. You see like bodybuilders, there's like 3 big areas. So just going on the front is not going to get everything. You gotta go slightly sideways, slightly in, and then on the top. So I'm gonna lay one leg on this from my hip bone and roll to just above my knee. I'm gonna go slightly sideways. Oh, mommy. Ouchie, ouchie. And then if I find an area or several, I'm going to hold it there and if possible, bend my knee and relax. Yeah, that's a goodie. Bend and relax. We're going to do that 5, 6, 7 times. Okay. And keep going if you find other areas like that. Oh, there's another one there, right? And all I'm doing is finding hot spots and then bending my leg and releasing and bending and releasing. So I'm basically kind of just personally massaging those areas with the foam roller with my own body weight on the muscle, okay? The hardest one to get, of course, is like like the inner quad as well as the adductors. And if I do recommend you try to get them. The larger foam rollers, you just kind of have to like almost like lay yourself with one leg back and one leg up and then roll it out. It's a bit awkward. The other thing I can recommend is, crazy as it sounds, so here we have a foam roller. They make like massage sticks. Honestly, you could use a dough roller, like oh my goodness, my brain is not working right now. You know, roll out dough. It'll come to me in a second. You're probably like giving me the answer right there and I'm not hearing you. So, yeah, like, you know, to roll out dough. Oh goodness, I think it's just too late, my brain's not working. So those work wonderful because they have the roller and you just kind of roll out the muscle. So especially if you're using this on the inside and you're feeling something but you can't, it seems like you're not getting it with this, just get one of those and just roll it out. So I'm gonna do my other leg now. Ooh. Usually you have matching areas, but many times one will speak louder than the other. And up and down and hold it on those areas. Make sure you get several pass-throughs and several bends up and down. And we get the inner thigh as well on this one. You know, if I'm going too fast, please pause and get those areas, or I'm just trying to make sure I show you everything. It's okay, so ooh. Let me bend. So by bending, you know, the leg, the muscle, it contracts, relaxes, contracts, relaxes, so it kind of just rolls it and massages it a little bit better. Okay. Once you've done both quads, so we're not gonna, notice that I said stop just above the knee. Why? Because again, you don't put the foam roller on bone. It's not knead, you can't knead bone, you can't, and it's just gonna hurt. So for that reason, we stop. So we'll do the quadriceps from the top of the knee all the way up into the hips. But notice I didn't go on the hip bones, and we didn't go past the knee, because here's your shin bones right here. And you don't want to roll this on your shin bones. But you do have the whole calf area. I'm gonna actually roll my pants up because I have zippers, and you don't want to put this with zippers. So what I'm gonna do is one leg at a time, just so you can see how everything feels on either side. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit on the floor, one leg on, and I'm gonna go the whole length of my calf. Okay. Now, this is a little bit more or less impactful, less intense by doing it this way. If I needed more intensity, I can come up and I take my other leg off. And so that all of my weight is on there, okay? I'm also gonna kind of find an area and then windshield wipe it. Okay. So all the way across, turn. Now, I have this big foam roller. I'm like, oh, but I feel it eerie and I don't feel I can quite get it in. The ball. Tennis ball. You could go golf ball, but those are really hard and really small, and it might be too intense. There's a ball, tennis ball, lacrosse ball, and again, I have one leg on the floor. I can use that ball to kind of, and I don't have them with me right here, but if you can also take two tennis balls in like a long tube sock, and that way they kind of go like side by side and really get into that muscle. So if you're like, well, this is maybe a little too intense, I might need to like back it off a little bit. Two balls, two tennis balls, two lacrosse balls in a tube sock, tied on one end, and they literally are like right side by side, and then on the bottom of your leg. So there's a few variations. Now again, I have my other foot on the ground so that I'm not putting all of my weight in here. If I wanted to, yeah, I could. I'll be honest, right now that's way too intense for my calf, so I can't do it. But, make sure that you're finding the right intensity. It should be uncomfortable, but not like super painful. Like if you're creating bruises, that's way too much. And then you can take it all the way down towards the Achilles, towards your heel. And if you find a spot, you're gonna windshield wiper that foot side to side. And you can also point and flex over those areas and circle the feet around. So whatever it takes to kind of get that muscle moving over the massage tool, whatever it may be, whether it's a foam roller or a ball, okay? And then make sure you get both of them. Now, I will show you another thing you can do with the ball. This will probably chop off my head when I do it though, we'll see. Because I have this directing toward the ground. Okay. So again, if you don't want to use the ball, the foam roller works just as well. In fact, if the ball is too intense, the foam roller at least kind of spreads it out, and I can kind of play with how much intensity, find a spot. Okay. Do we get the IT band, we got the quadriceps, we got the calves, the lower back. I did the upper back, but I didn't do. So I did the lower back with that, and creating mobility can also be, probably didn't mention this, and even just the upper back, especially if you've spent a lifetime hunched over on a computer writing things, sitting in a chair, any amount that we can let the head relax back. So this provides a nice support. Okay, and just creating some mobility through the upper back. So we have that nice S curve in our back, but sometimes that top of the S just is too much, and that's where you see people are kind of walking this way. So just any amount that we can create this openness using the foam roller and finishing up that way, maybe even extending the legs out. So in yoga, this is called fisheye, I believe. Elbows underneath, arms sideways. I can even just rest my head on the foam roller. And it supports, drop my shoulders down, rest my head. And now I have this openness across my chest, a little openness in my throat, still breathing. Obviously, you don't want to do this right after an intense workout, or make sure that your heart rate is down, because I'm dropping my head back, and that can create some issues with blood pressure and dizziness if your heart rate isn't calm. Okay. So a nice way to end everything, being calm, relaxed, belly in, open up the chest, let everything kind of just spill, melt. Okay, and then anytime you're ready to come up, allow yourself to kind of turn over to your side, hold on to the roller so you don't fall, and come up, and there you go. So do this as often as necessary. Highly recommend certain areas that feel more discomfort than others, more knots you notice, to pause, stay in that area, keep going, breathe, work out the knots as much as you can that day, come back to it another day. This is great to do, maybe not the same day, right after a really intense workout or strength session. The next day is good as well. You could do it right after one, just do it on a fairly less intense scale ball. It's already warmed up, kind of work things out. More like a nice like massage. And then the next day, use it to kind of work things out again. I think I said that right, but you know, it's a great tool. You could literally do it every day. And to be honest, without even me telling you, your body will guide you as to how much pressure you need each day. Some days this is gonna feel just amazing. Some days it might feel like someone is taking like a sledgehammer to your muscles. So react accordingly. Like I said, it can always be done against a wall. Tennis balls, things like that, especially like this one, you know, we laid down across with our spine, but you could use a ball against the wall, like right in your shoulder blades to kind of work that area. The other thing the ball is nice for, hopefully I don't chop off my head in the video when I do this, but I probably will, is to put your feet on it. Like roll your toes over the ball and then back and forth. Like it might even be better without socks because then I can grip a little bit better. I can spread out my toes, grip the ball and spread, and then across. So right now it's across the ball of my feet, and a little bit of pressure. And then I come into the arch area, and same kind of like just pressure. And into the heel. And almost like you're, you know, back in the olden days when you put out a cigarette. I know who does it anymore. Alright. So this type of ball, tennis ball, golf ball, really good for that foot massage as well. Alright, so awesome. Have a great day. Until next time.